Hello, welcome back to the caster desk for match point in the series, Schalke 04 versus Fnatic. We expected a close series, but again, Schalke have been coming in clutch each and every time in the game. Caedrel, what are we looking at here in Game 3?
We're looking at draft Drakos. I feel like the drafts from Fnatic have been quite poor, I would say, the last two games. Very low damage, very low playmaking. They're picking these B, C tier junglers, giving over the strongest junglers like Udyr, like Volibear across to Gilius, and banning him out didn't work. And this blind pick gangplank is too oppressive for Fnatic to deal with. I want to see some kind of gangplank ban in the 4-5 or trying to look to counterpick top a little bit stronger. These Cho'Gaths and Lulus just aren't working.
And the good news is we have a bit of a shift, right? We are going to see an adaptation in terms of side selection. This time it looks like Fnatic will be on blue, Schalke will be on red. So there will be adjustments, Caedrel. No matter what in draft, there will be adjustments. And my question is, how much the strategy changes? Is Gangplank just OP in this series, or is this a BrokenBlade special that demands an answer? How much is actually going to change here as we get closer to picks and bans?
Now the Fnatic's on blue side, I want to see them focus on the jungle. Take away Volibear, take away Hecarim, get the stronger jungler, win the mid jungle, go to side lanes. It's Game 3, baby. Oh, there it is. We were waiting for the banger. There's the banger song. Now, the draft's not on your screen yet, but Fnatic are on blue side. They tried to run back the TF comp twice on red side. They're changing things up. We said they need to get back to the drawing board. They need to find something that's been working for them in scrims or on stage, whatever it was, perhaps last weekend even, and run that back.
And for some reason, if you were just joining us and you have missed these first two games, it is important to note that this is match point for Schalke. If they win here, they eliminate Fnatic completely from playoffs. This will be their worst finish since 2016 summer. That was Spirit and Gamsu on the roster. It was literally so many years ago, 5 years ago.
Speaking of 2016 summer, that's when Schalke joined the league. That's when they bought the spot from Elements, and Gilius was on that roster. Gilius has been, he was one of the players who was on the starting lineup of Schalke's first appearance in the league.
And of course, the other player that really helped define Schalke when they had to claw their way back in was Upset, and he's the man now facing down a clean sweep on the opposite side. Again, eyes are on adaptation in the draft. What do Fnatic change? They have changed the side that they are on. That's a good start. What else is going to happen? Caedrel, you called it out. Jungle pick, so incredibly crucial. But when you look at it, while Gilius has been monstering, his team has been backing him up, and we have seen the same, I wish we could say uncharacteristic mistakes from Fnatic in the form of misexecutions on tower dives, but it's the same thing that we saw in Week 8 when Fnatic fans were nervous, when it wasn't confirmed that they would make it in playoffs, when they were reliant on other people's results to secure them a spot in this season's playoffs. It was shaky, but now here, one final chance. If they win it here, they have to win 2 more back-to-back. The reverse sweep, it's been done before. Can Fnatic make it work?
It's been done before, and I hate to say it, it happened at Worlds against Fnatic. But Fnatic are now the ones with the reverse sweep in their hands. They've chosen blue side. They've changed things up. I love this. So, the bans. Let's look at the bans. Alistar Orianna already taken away. I think Orianna is one of the most ridiculous champions in the league right now. Just looking at stats, because I think it's 6-1. And I'm not much of a stats person, but the champ is working because of the meta, right? Hecarim going in, Udyr going in, Alistar going in. Orianna can facilitate that so well. But interesting enough, no jungle bans yet. So, I think both junglers are either going to trade them off. I think banning a jungler here for Schalke doesn't make much sense, so you could invest into the TF, but they're going to ban away the Hecarim, which is actually the strongest jungler of the patch. So that means we're probably going to have an Udyr versus Volibear jungle matchup. Perhaps a Lily or a Nidalee could be thrown in there, but I made a mistake there actually. Hecarim is the strongest OP jungler, so denying that from Selfmade is probably the best option you've got, looking at the OPs left to ban.
And this is big for Fnatic because now they have priority pick on whatever jungler they want. In this case, they're going to pick the Volibear over the Udyr. We know Volibear to be the more explosive jungler, potentially in early game, partially due to his ability to dive towers. Obviously, something Fnatic could be excited about when they have fumbled that in the last few instances.
Yeah, definitely. The Volibear pickup is huge for Selfmade. It was very successful against SK. He won both games on it. So now Fnatic have a lot of playmaking. And on top of that, you've banned away the Gangplank. The Gangplank blind pick won't come out from Schalke, so they don't actually have to counter it. So now Fnatic can dig deeper and try to find something different, push Schalke a little bit more. And the Udyr pickup, we expected the Volibear Udyr trade. Now Rell's open. Do they want to go into the Rell? Do they want to go into the Victor? Do they want to go into things like the Kai'Sa, which is also open, and then counter pick support on 3? Schalke have a lot of options here on red side.
Grab the Kai'Sa here. Force Fnatic to pick away the Rell, pick the Gragas for yourself. Doesn't feel like a bad recipe for success for the side of Schalke.
Yeah, and Xayah Gragas was the response from Schalke on blue side when Fnatic took away the Kai'Sa. But now Fnatic looking to take away the Xayah and the Rell. So we'll see what Limit has to respond to this. I'm guessing it's going to be something like the Leona, which we saw in Game 1.
Is certainly an option. Bard would be a bit out there, a bit different.
Oh yeah, it would. That's some kind of LPL stuff. The LPL Bards.
I love it. This is one of 3 champions in the game where I have way too much knowledge about how they work. A Tahm Kench I would not be a big fan of, but certainly could be strong at mitigating any potential dive threat here. But I'm falling into the trap that we always fall over in playoffs.
You hate to see it, because he hovered Bard and he hovered Tahm, and these are 2 champions which Rare Atom used against Invictus Gaming to beat them in the best of 5. It was a banger series if you didn't see it. It was this week, IG versus RA. It was a great series. RA won with things like the Bard and the Tahm Kench. So picking up the Gragas again, which was Schalke's response to the Rell before. They did go for Leona as well, but the Gragas also worked from last game. Limit showing up to every play as he always does. So now both teams have the bot lane in the jungle. Schalke have the last pick for top perhaps, so I'm expecting Abbedagge to run back some kind of mage in mid on 4 pick, perhaps the Victor, something along those lines. Nisqy can get a counter. Maybe we see the Lucian again. Nisqy had 2 games on Lucian last weekend and he won them both.
And I think really at this stage, it's what else do Fnatic want to go for here? Are we going to see the run back on the TF? Frankly, I don't expect to see Schalke ban it away because it just has not worked.
Yeah.
And they still would. Admittedly, Fnatic could then use their next ban on the Sylas, which would limit some of Abbedagge's counter pick options, as we've seen both the Victor and the Sylas now into that pick. Seraphine ban I do like. Nisqy's known to play the more supportive champion, could set their team up to outscale, to really outperform in mid to late game.
Yeah, and with these bans, I'm looking at Zoe, I'm looking at Azir, I'm looking at Ryze, I'm looking at Lucian as the 4 mid laners that are kind of open. Yes, the Sylas could be picked up. The Karma ban, I think that's targeted at Bwipo, who did play the Karma top last weekend. Very facilitating your team very well. I think this champ, it gets the push in top. You can build towards things like the Everfrost or the Moonstone supportive role for your team, which we've seen Bwipo forced into essentially, or decided upon with tanks, with supportive champs. We'll have to see what Fnatic ban out, but I think that Schalke being Schalke, BrokenBlade is going to get last pick.
Wukong now going to be banned away.
I wonder if that's because of an Aatrox blind pick for Bwipo.
Could be the Aatrox blind. Sion, of course, is still up and available, but with Gnar up, generally we don't see the Sion immediately picked, usually banned away when people want to go for the Sion blind. Schalke taking their time, though. You really do have to debate who do you prioritize having that counter pick for. Certainly, BrokenBlade has been one of the strongest individual performers, but Abbedagge also can do a lot of work if you give him a counter pick.
Okay, looks like they're going to blind pick for BrokenBlade and give last pick for Abbedagge. That could be because they prioritize Urgot so highly with things like Wukong GP out. What does Bwipo have into it? We've seen him on things like the Sion, and I think Urgot does well into the Sion. So what BrokenBlade is essentially saying there is, I'll blind pick a carry because you're playing supportive champions anyway. Does Bwipo want to try and find a counter? Things like the Aatrox, or maybe even things like the Gnar that could go toe-to-toe with the Urgot, play a carry champion? Or does he just go back to his tank / supportive role that he's been playing over the last 2 weekends in the series? But the Azir pickup for Nisqy, I don't think Abbedagge can find a great counter to that, especially when your team's quite heavy AD already. I'm expecting just a mage.
Probably just has to match the control mage pressure. Important to note, because Schalke are 2-0 up, they can't afford to lose 2 games, so any kind of experimental picks that they want to pull out here, maybe the blind pick Urgot doesn't initially work out for them, depending on how Bwipo wants to respond, could struggle into the Aatrox. Then they do have a chance to adjust in the games to come. If they lose here, they'll have side selection in the following game, setting them up to close it out at 3-1.
I think that Wukong one kind of gave away that they were going to pick Aatrox regardless of the matchup in top, but the blind pick Urgot. What does Abbedagge have last pick? Is it going to be Azir Corki Resident Sleeper? I think it might be, because there's really no mages left apart from Syndra, and you need some scaling. So it's going to be Azir Corki Resident Sleeper. Pog, let's go, I love it.
Game 1, explosive, absolute bloodbath. Game 2, Schalke-sided bloodbath. Game 3, little siesta, baby. A little siesta in the mid lane.
It's not so much of a siesta. We've seen caps on Corki with the package, ganking bot, getting kills early. 8 minutes is when Corki's package spawns. So let's get excited for that minute.
Let's get fired up for 8 minutes. And of course, the other lanes are certainly going to be explosive. And for the first time, Selfmade gets priority pick in the jungle matchup. What can he do in the early game? He's going to be the one that we have to watch on the side of Fnatic.
Both these teams are 4-1 compositions. Both these teams are team fight compositions. Every single role here is same. Engage supports, early game junglers, scaling mages, split pushing tops, which can team fight, and AD carries, which match themselves. So both these drafts are very even. I think if Urgot gets ahead or Aatrox gets ahead, that benefits the team with the side lane push. But that's not the biggest advantage. You're looking at team fights here, the carries, the damage, who can find the engages. This is just a brawl fiesta.
Caedrel.
You love to see it.
I'm ready for full-on 5v5.
Are you hyped?
I'm pumped.
This is match point for Schalke, Drakos.
Caedrel, I love it. This energy, bro. You are unleashed.
You know
Fnatic hoping to unleash in the same capacity. They're the ones who have to turn it around. Again, match point. We are moving up. Schalke could 3-0 clean sweep Fnatic, a first, a historic first for the organization. And sadly, Fnatic, the first time in years that they will be knocked out this low in the standings in playoffs. Pressure on both of these lineups. Schalke, they've got a few games to work with, but they want to end it here.
Of the stage now before we jump onto the Rift. Tolki, thank you so much for joining me. Quick question for you. You went for the blue side this time around with the classic jungle first pick. Can you explain why now and the game plan from Fnatic here?
We decided to go for blue side after the first game because, well, we got more information, we're adapting our draft, and we feel like the first pick jungle was in a very good spot given the current jungle champion pool. Overall, we're very happy with this comp, and we got, you know, the Bwipo Aatrox. So we're expecting some big things here.
All right, and when you saw the last pick from Schalke, I mean, going for the classic Corki, no surprises here? What's your take on the matchup? We know it's boring, but...
It happens, you know, what happens, happens, but we feel like Corki was not necessarily what would bring their composition together. We're happy with what we're doing here, and we feel like we should be able to punish the short-range jungle, top side, AD, with the composition we have.
All right, well, let's see how it goes for you. Thank you very much, Tolki. And back to you guys at the desk.
And thank you so much, Laure, and thank you so much, Tolki. Obviously, always difficult to talk mid-series and keep a smile on your face, even in this high-pressure situation, but it's a good look for Fnatic.
Yeah, and Tolki said that he thinks that they can punish this short-range composition, the top side that Schalke has, with things like the Azir and the Xayah, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But he also said Bwipo's on the Aatrox, so we'll have to see if he pops off on the Aatrox. But definitely, I'd like to see this version of Fnatic. I'd like to see Bwipo on things like the carries because he's been playing so much supportive champs and tanks, even though he's had one fantastic split of being one of the biggest threats that Fnatic had in the regular season.
Absolutely. And I think fans waiting to see that. We talked earlier in the series about how he was just a kind of a tank for pressure, absorbed so much pressure, freed up upset to carry. Glad to see him step into his own and try to carry in this game. Has already got some good damage down on the Neon, a pretty early Ignite, but just trying to get a bit more control back in this lane for Fnatic.
Yeah, very early Ignite there, looking for some kind of all-in, but the level 1 means that as soon as Hylissang goes in, he just kind of has to run away. He doesn't have the stun to follow up. But we'll have to see how this game plays out. We talk about the Bwipo's Aatrox, but BrokenBlade on the Urgot had fantastic games. I remember games on the Urgot where he was like 11-1 carrying games, so we'll have to see how he does on this Urgot. The Wukong obviously banned away from him. But the top push means that you can get deep vision. Both junglers pathing towards the bot side of the map. So now BrokenBlade has information that Selfmade's on the top side. Gilius has that information too, so this bot side crab will be the point of contention. So we'll have to see how the mid bot prio kind of goes and who can get to the play first, who can collapse first, because Limit has the push in bot, so he can collapse first, but Nisqy has the push in mid, so he can also collapse first. We'll have to see how this bot scuttle plays out, because I think if the team gets there first and they get this bot scuttle, then they can also rotate to the top scuttle.
And definitely we've seen how small jungle advantages can really start to add up very quickly. In the previous game, it was just a slight difference in clear speed.
Oh, Selfmade. Oh, he got spotted.
He's up for a gank. He's going to step forward. Can't go for the Q flash, but Limit and Neon know he's there. Of course,
this could be bad. They know he's in that bush. Selfmade is down a level.
Can fight for the crab, though. They still, it looks like, have bot lane prio, so Gilius isn't going to take any risks here, and I think smart choice. Doesn't need to bet or gamble on anything in this game 3.
Yeah, the bot wave was bouncing. Look how many minions they had, so Fnatic stepped up, and that means that Selfmade will get this bot crab, but Gilius identifies it, runs through mid to top side, and should get this top crab for himself, so even trade for both junglers, but Selfmade hasn't cleared his Krug, so that means if he goes towards his top side, I think Gilius should get this in time. Doesn't have the smite though, does have top lane to run out to. Selfmade needs to do something.
Q flash is going to go right over the wall. Abbedagge didn't see it coming, but is just barely able to make it out there. Of course, he trades flash for flash, but overall should be positive for the side of Fnatic.
Yep, flash for flash trade, but Abbedagge won't lose too much on the wave. It's a cannon wave, the wave crashed, he trades flash with the jungler, that's about it. He's not losing a wave for this, and I think he can kind of save his TP if he wants to, does decide to use it back to the lane, picks up the tier, he's scaling. Selfmade has been spotted a lot this game, spotted on the bot ward, spotted on the bot crab, now spotted on the top crab, just giving his top laner information so that when he tries to crash these waves, he can't get collapsed upon by Gilius, who's had a fantastic series in the early games.
And it really just seems like Selfmade very willing to sacrifice himself, sacrifice his time to make sure that his laners are set up for success. Even if it can't be as explosive as a few ganks in the early game, just getting down that early vision does mean that Bwipo can push up much more confidently against the likes of the Udyr.
Yeah, and both junglers going to the second respawn here. That ward will pay off, and Bwipo will be able to spot him out, but Looks like Gilius will clear it out with the sweeper, so now Bwipo is a bit scared to crash this wave. I think both junglers want to clear their second respawn camps and then base. And what are they going to do, Drakos? They're going to pick up Ionian Boots of Lucidity. 900 gold, lots of move speed. And now you might wonder, why did the junglers pick up Boots first item? Doesn't that hurt their clear? Well, yes, a Balmy Cinder, for example, would make it so your clear on the camp itself is faster, but the time you lose from going from camp to camp is made up from the boots, from actually not having the combat stats. And then having the boots themselves means you're stronger in fights, because you can run away or gap close faster. So that's why most junglers are running boots. Most junglers are running move speed as the best base stat, because it's the best form of engage, and it does well into dashes and flashes. You can't flash away, you can't Gale Force away if I'm running at you at 500 miles an hour, as Bwipo is getting aggressive on BrokenBlade.
BrokenBlade has to play a little bit more careful here. Of course, Bwipo's resourceless, has a lot of innate healing in the kit, so you'd expect him to be a bit more favored in this matchup. Maybe in an all-in, BrokenBlade could feel pretty confident, given that if Bwipo ever gets too low, past level 6, he can go for the execute.
Yeah, but we'll have to see how the early game plays out. The only real early game both teams have are engaged supports and early game junglers, in a sense, which have very good, powerful combat stats in the early game. I think when both junglers base and they pick up these boots, they should look for plays. And when we see these plays happen, that's when we'll see the early game aggression. But the lanes themselves, I don't think we'll see too much aggression. I think it's more towards scaling, more towards dragons, and more towards team fights.
And there's two things that I want to highlight right now in the top lane itemization. One, early Tiamat comes in for BrokenBlade. Usually we see Stride Breaker into Titanic. That is the standard meta build for Urgot right now in solo queue as well as in professional play. That said, Whip on the opposite side. Ninja Tabby, not a flashy item, but
Plated steel caps.
Plated steel caps. Thank you. It's been like a year. I should know that one by now. Not a flashy item,
Bwipo.
but a powerful one, as Bwipo is going to go for the all-in. BrokenBlade not doing too much damage back in exchange, but Gilius is on the way in. The ulti is going to fade away, and Bwipo debating where exactly he wants to go, taking his time, walking back. Selfmade could be on the way up, but Abbedagge is coming in as well.
Looks like Selfmade's here too. He does get this top side scuttle. And as I say, both junglers will build boots. They both build Balmy Cinder. The one game that it happens. Looks like both these junglers just want to full clear and look for Drakes in the early game. Then I don't expect to see too much aggression.
Aren't you a jungle main? Shouldn't you know this?
Okay, you can kick W me. I'll allow it. But I think the next aggression points will come from Selfmade's level 6 Volibear. If you can get Hylissang from bot, who has this bot lane push, into mid with the Volibear ult, I think Abbedagge might get taken down. But 1 minute on the package, and Dragon is still up as Gilius is looking top again. Bwipo doesn't have the ultimate, and this wave is pushing into Bwipo. So that means BrokenBlade is vulnerable to a gank, and Gilius is here to cover him.
And one of the nice strengths of the Tiamat is it just allows him to have that pressure. And of course, the only thing I wanted to say about the plated steel caps is everyone except for the Gragas wants to auto-attack you repeatedly. Just a very high-value item in this game. Won't be surprised to see Volibear pick them up later either. Azir would be a bit much, but it is certainly an option as Bwipo just going to hold on, just going to clear this wave. Can't imagine that they go for the dive here. Herald spawning in about 45 seconds, though. Maybe that top lane pressure can set up Schalke to have a bit more control over that objective.
Yeah, Gilius just helping his top laner get a free base there. We'll come back out to top, and Bwipo can decide whether he pushes out the next wave or base himself. So, lane's pretty standard across the board here. Gold's basically the same, not too many advantages being accrued by either team.
And with Herald on the horizon, as well as the Corki package, I think we have a brief lull in the action, and I have to know. Brief lull. Cast your curse, brief. No, okay, brief. All right, here we go. Can Fnatic come back in the series? That's my big question. Now, it's a much more stable early game than any of the ones we've seen previously. As Gilius gets ready to go for a gank here, Nisqy can still dash away. Should be okay here. Stun lands, though. Takes a ton of damage from that Corki. So don't let that sway your opinion too much, but do let us know, yes or no in chat. Is this the reverse sweep for Fnatic? Are they making the comeback?
We'll have to see, but that chunk out on Nisqy means he has to base, and he has to TP back. Gilius is going to start up Herald, and I think Abbedagge is going to base and pick up the package. 8 minutes in the game, Selfmade's bot side. He'll get spotted out on this ward, I believe. So that means Schalke have full information that this Herald's free. But can Fnatic cross-map? Can they look for a bot lane dive? They have Nisqy's TP if they want to commit to it. Looks like Nisqy's saving it instead of getting back to mid to contest the mid wave or pick up some extra creeps. And Abbedagge should have the package. Look what he's doing. He's moving towards bot side.
He knows. And the package, again, makes you so fast on your way out of base. It's also essentially a semi-global, so Abbedagge can get anywhere he needs to be. Giving up his blue is going to matter a lot in the mid lane matchup, but he could be the one to make a play on this bottom side.
Yeah, Nisqy didn't TP mid to push in the wave, so Abbedagge can waste time around bot side. He can hover around here, check the cam, see if he can push out Selfmade, cover the bot dive, and that's all because Nisqy didn't TP in and push the wave. Now Nisqy's pushed the wave in. Abbedagge will go back mid and catch the wave, but Bwipo's going aggressive.
All right. Looks like people are not faithful in the Fnatic comeback. Maybe their minds change after this all-in, but for now, Bwipo just trading back and forth. Note that he just stops fighting around 50% HP because he does not want to risk the ultimate. Confidence, though. Sidestep very clean there on the corrosive charge, and we'll be able to walk away, but now it is just the dragon picked up by the side of Fnatic. Gilius walking in. Oh my god, massive disrespect. Gilius gives his life there, and they're going to try to turn it back. That's the package in the midst of everybody. Upset has no room to maneuver in the back of the pit, but he might not need it. Abbedagge now on the retreat, Limit running for his life. They're going to try to punish. Neon's going to make it out over the wall, and...
Okay, well...
That's
very risky what he did, let's be honest. He's flashing in for a 50-50. and he's gonna die for it no matter what, because he's flashing into 3 members.
That is 100% full confidence Gilius. That was not a great...
Oh, Nisqy!
Oh, Fnatic are not here to be disrespected, folks. Let's make that clear. Gilius got that dragon. That was the most disrespectful play I've seen in a long time, because at best, he trades his life for the dragon, and he gets that. But now Fnatic pick up 2 quick kills, and Gilius overconfident, I think it's safe to say.
Is this worth it, you have to ask yourselves? The first dragon of the game for a kill? I mean, it should be worth it in the long run, because I think Schalke can start racking up the Drakes, but if it gives Fnatic an early gold lead, it's going to be harder to contest the Drakes, especially if Selfmade gets the kill, and they all have to flash away. Limit has to use his flash to escape, and I just feel like it's just a horrible situation to be in, because Schalke lose a lot of priority around bot side, a lot of tempo. They lose a lot of kills. Not only do they lose Gilius in this play, but Abbedagge, let's see how he gets killed again. He has to flash up, but the Valkyrie gets predicted from Nisqy, who's been quite quiet this series on the TF. He's on the Azir here. The EQ kind of shuffled to chase down Abbedagge, flashes and ults him. Wow, that was clean.
And here's the thing. The only argument I have for that play from Gilius is just like mental warfare. If you make that play work, and Fnatic's mental is not broken, I would be stunned, because I would be broken in a solo queue game instantly if someone does that to me.
But you're using your flash for it. Gragas is flashing.
I know, but that's the thing, is like, there's no other argument that we can think of, right? So at this point, I'm grasping at straws. It's either a pure confidence play or it's just the wrong decision.
Yeah, it's definitely confidence, because you're flashing in for a 50-50. You're not. If Selfmade got the Drake there and Gilius died, it's an absolute disaster.
And again, solid read on Fnatic, the instant punish. It sucks to give up the Drake, but Abbedagge overstays his welcome. Nisqy sees the package is gone, knows he can make that play work, and that's going to turn it. Now we've got action in the mid lane, we've got action in the top lane. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, everyone backs off, so it's just going to be the top lane 1v1. BrokenBlade getting down some good damage, but has to be careful about this one. Where's the Disdain going to go? Does he try to flip him back to the tower? Looks like he is just going to walk away. Flash forced by Bwipo. Bwipog. Tolki called it out, and we might get to see it.
Yeah, Schalke heralding mid on top of that. They won't get the tower like they did last game, because they don't have as much advantages in the early game. Fnatic respecting the tempo, respecting the plays, making sure that they have to cover them. But Bwipo, this is what I like to see, getting aggressive. I think he can kill him here.
Eternal chains, he has no flash.
BrokenBlade just cancels the chains and gets out alive, but Bwipo playing so aggressively in this top lane, and this is what I want to see from Fnatic. Bwipo is one of the star players in this lineup. When he's on things like the carry, we saw it all throughout the Spring Split, and he's been on tank duty, but now he's showing up in this solo lane, in the 1v1.
And this is massive. Again, Fnatic need to turn this series around. They've tried something different in the draft. They're on a different side. They've got a different strategy. Bwipo now set up to carry, and Fnatic potentially set up to dive bottom lane. Limit and Neon are going to need to play this one clean. Gilius is on the way in. Maybe they can stop this play in its tracks, but overall, a much calmer, much slower game. Usually at this point, Schalke are 2, 3K gold ahead. This time, it is Fnatic in the driver's seat. 1K gold advantage to their side.
And this is the thing, Fnatic can be patient. Yes, they can force plays because they're ahead, but they can also be patient. If the plays don't work out, fine. But if you're playing things like TF Hylissang and the plays don't work out at 15 minutes, you've lost the game, you're outscaled. But now they have a lot of scaling. So it's okay if you don't make these plays happen. It's okay if you're even or slightly ahead going into mid to late game, because you scale well. You have lots of scaling. This is the key thing that Fnatic have differently to the last 2 drafts, as they're zoning away Schalke from the bot tower.
Good ulti from Limit. Really going to stop the engage in its tracks. Going to do what they can just to clear the wave here, knowing that Fnatic cannot overstay. Getting the ultimate. Not really a positive trade, I would say, for the side of Fnatic. They use their time. Limit does do what he can to hold on, but Upset's still going to be able to get some good damage down, as they're sticking around bottom lane. They're ready to rinse and repeat.
And this is almost like a butterfly effect, a snowball effect of Gilius flashing in for that Drake, because the enemy jungle's ahead. They have bot push, so he can keep doing this. Selfmade can look for a dive here, but Abbedagge has TP, but Fnatic have double TP to match it.
They're going to try to one-shot Selfmade. He can go unstoppable with the ultimate if he wants to try and turn and burn on this one. TP now used. He's going to try to go over the wall, but he doesn't quite make it. The flash out to safety. Neon going to grab it! Oof. Abbedagge in the win. Keep in mind, Abbedagge has the package. Schalke can continue to keep this play moving forward. In the meantime, Nisqy is pushing in the mid lane. It does cost Schalke their TP to turn that play, but Selfmade not making over that wall is a disaster. Limit kind of just baiting, kind of trying to get him in. There's a clean body slam flash. Upset's got no time to respond. Neon going to try to finish the job, but he pulls back. Neon taking down Upset, just barely alive. Hylissang wants to finish the job, but he is going to get taken down in the end. Nisqy managed to take down Neon. Bwipo on the backside. Big healing. Can he finish the job? Abbedagge needs to get out. Limit will get taken down, and Fnatic are finding the fights that they need as Abbedagge caught out again by Hylissang. Bwipo, will they go for the dive? Of course they will. It's Fnatic. They're looking to finish it. Abbedagge flash out to safety. Abbedagge looking to turn.
Oh my god!
Back onto Bwipo. Valk back onto Bwipo.
It's a triple kill!
Abbedagge! Are you kidding me?
Oh my god! Schalke, they turn it around. Abbedagge gets a triple kill. We talked about the double TP from Fnatic. They won the fight. All they had to do was back off. Drakos, you said it. Fnatic, of course they're gonna go for the dive. Abbedagge! This Corki is online.
Screw Faker Dogge. as rookie dog, we're moving up. We need more recent world champion. The man is unleashed.
Woo! Okay, let's watch this again, because Fnatic are the ones zoning them away. They have the double TP, but Selfmade steps too far forward, and Neon responds with the ult really well, and then matches the flash to pick up the first kill. Okay, the fight's over. Abbedagge has package. We know he has package. He's going to back off. Now, Schalke's play was good, but we talked about the double TP. The initial play was really fantastic. Limit CC's Upset, so he can't flash away or ult away from the package itself. They do manage to kill Upset, but then look at the double TP come in. Fnatic have won this fight. They've picked up more kills than Schalke. They can push in bot, and they should be able to get the next Drake. But why do they overchase? They don't even
There's
have
another fight happening in the picture-in-picture, by the way. That is live action. I'm sorry we can't watch that one back. I'd love to. There's going to be a highlight reel somewhere. You can watch it in your own time because Upset's now dead. Again, Selfmade trying to finish the job. The second W is what he needs, but the CC is there. Are you... How? How do Schalke keep making this work?
Hylissang and Nisqy are here, though. Neon doesn't have any summoners. Limit's quite far. He might look to execute here. I think Limit might be able to execute. Nisqy doesn't have the flash to gap close it. Hang on, Bwipo.
Bwipo going to be in trouble. Abbedagge trying to turn and burn. That is a strong Corki.
The whole map's falling apart for Fnatic. Is Limit gonna get out as well? That's 3 kills for Schalke.
Oh.
The emote disrespect. Limit's out. Schalke starting the Drake. Everything's falling apart.
Abbedagge making it out as well. 4-1-1. Moments ago, we were talking about it was Fnatic. It was a 1K gold lead. The ball was in their court. What do? They throw it right back to Schalke. Abbedagge unlocked. Schalke unlocked. That gold graph telling you the story of Fnatic's hopes and dreams. They are dropping off a cliff.
And this whole time, BrokenBlade's just been sitting in top lane pushing. Everything's been 4v5 on the bot side of the map for Schalke. They come away with way more kills, 4 kills on the Corki to be precise. Bwipo TP's bot dies, runs mid, dies. BrokenBlade takes a full top tower and is up 20 CS in a matchup that he was losing 900 gold ahead of Bwipo now. And look at just the gold. Abbedagge's ahead, Neon's ahead, everyone's ahead on Schalke, even though Fnatic had full control of this game.
Maybe there's a way back in. They got scaling in both lanes. It's still 3-1 for Nisqy, but that's it. There's no more mistakes left. You can't afford to make any more. Nisqy dashing out to safety. It's clean, but his tower's getting lower and lower.
Okay, Drakos, a lot's happened in this early game. It went from 0 to 100 really quick, and the fights were kicking off. But let's just take stock of the game. Schalke, they're up 2,500 gold. The scaling is pretty much even on both these carries. They have 2 dragons on their pocket, 3 minutes on the next one, and it looks like they're controlling the lanes. The problem is Fnatic still have the push. They still have the push in mid, they still have the push in bot, but they've already lost their top tower. The next objective on the map is the Rift Herald, but Fnatic want to make sure they can get this bot tier 1 before they move around the map.
Just so much pressure. And again, remember, even if you turn it around, even if you win it here, you still have to play Rogue on Sunday. This is going to be a gauntlet of a weekend for either of the teams that manage to advance. But for now, it is a gauntlet of a game for Fnatic. They have to survive. They have to live to fight another day. That is what they are fighting for. It's no longer how high can you finish, how high can you go. It's can you survive. For Nisqy, right now, the answer is yes. But as you said, Caedrel, it's a gold lead. It's not as massive as it has been in the past. It is not insurmountable. But with a Mountain Soul potentially on the table, you know both these teams are going to be looking at the next massive objective, or the next major objective in that dragon. Is Schalke for now using the advantage that they have built up topside just to take this Herald uncontested. Can use that one to break a very low health mid lane tower if they want to.
We'll see what Fnatic does on the cross map though. The mid tower is so low for Fnatic, but the bot tower on the other side is very low for Schalke, and I think Fnatic's trying to get that one cracked open. But just look at the items. Neon picked up a Last Whisper second item against this front line, these plated steel caps, as Hylissang gets caught.
Hylissang trying to make it out, but the tower manages to hit him. He's getting lower and lower. He's burning down. Limit grabs that one. Now it's going to be Upset in trouble. The body slam flash. It's too clean.
2v2 kill for Schalke against the most dominant and oppressive bot lane in the league of Fnatic. They're going to Herald mid. They've got a double kill bot. Schalke have full control of this game again.
It's disaster. And you can see it in the face of any Fnatic fan. You know as surely as you can see it in the face of Upset. He knows that this was not the turnaround that they wanted.
It was the overextension in the dive in the one play, and now they're paying for it. They're paying the price, the repercussions. Bot lane's ahead, mid lane's ahead, the whole map is ahead. Schalke 3 outer towers, Fnatic 0 towers. Almost a 5,000 gold lead for Schalke. As Abbedagge is 2 levels up on Bwipo and has the package. No tower for Bwipo either, but Fnatic are collapsing. Looks like Abbedagge is going to respect the play.
Has the package, though. He can be a little bit disrespectful because it'll make him unstoppable. Forced to use it now, but he might not get the chance. The chain CC, not quite flawless.
Now you have to wonder, is that just frustration coming off Fnatic? He has the package. Your stun's not going to last 5 seconds. It's going to be 1, and then Abbedagge is going to be out of there. Untargetable, unstoppable, just straight out of there. No flash on Selfmade now. That limits your engage options. And Fnatic tried to make a pick there, but it just wasn't good enough. Abbedagge is just playing with the vision. He knows where Fnatic are. You can't look for these kind of plays.
And Caedrel, I mean, I gotta know, from your perspective, what's happening right now in team comms if you're Fnatic? Like, what does it need to look like? You've been in situations where you've been down in the early game where you've had to come back. Excel, we're good at scaling. Like, okay. I'm not trying to make a meme out of it. No, I'm serious. Okay. I'm serious. I want to know because I can't, as someone who's only played solo queue, as someone who's mediocre as hell at this game, I cannot imagine the pressure on Fnatic in this scenario. I need you to paint the picture for me.
You have to look at the positives when you're behind like this. Yes, we outscaled them. You have to look at the good things. Okay, wait, there's a fight going on. Hylissang's going in.
Gilius might be in trouble. Gilius trying to survive this one. Abbedagge still off to the side. Looks like Bwipo's trying to get some work done. If he shuts down Abbedagge, this is a massive gold influx. Meanwhile, Nisqy on the bottom side. Neon ready on the collapse. Ultimate could come through. One more auto finishes the job. That's going to be massive. Bwipo taking down one. In the meantime, though, 800 gold shutdown. Corki down. Maybe Fnatic in turn. BrokenBlade and Limit. What can they get done here? Bwipo getting lower and lower. The ulti from the Urgot has to be respected. Neon on the way in. Neon, no ultimate available. No flash either. Upset has his flash up. Maybe they can turn it. Schalke, have they overstayed? That's going to be the double snare. What else can they get done? Upset so incredibly low. Somebody needs to body block. BrokenBlade, no ulti available. Shut down for Bwipo. Fnatic, this is their chance. They can turn it. One, stack of the Darkened Blade. Two, looking for it. BrokenBlade flashes away. That is huge. It was a massive gold lead. It was massive advantage for Schalke, but Fnatic are starting to close the gap.
Fnatic find the fight. They get the kills. They get the shutdowns. They won't get any neutral objectives for it, but that's a good start. Neon, no flash. Abbedagge, no flash. BrokenBlade, no flash. They forced a lot of summoner spells, and they've got a lot of shutdowns. And this just comes off the back of Hylissang trying to overextend for vision, and Schalke trying to punish them, but Fnatic's first to the play. Bwipo's been here all along. So is Selfmade. Upset collapses, and on the other side of the rift, Nisqy gets caught out by Neon. Neon does manage to take him down in the 1v1, but the thing is, Fnatic wins the top side dive. I think they overextend for the dive onto BrokenBlade. They manage to take out Abbedagge as well. BrokenBlade comes into the fight, and I think the key thing here is BrokenBlade's ultimate gets blocked. Watch, it comes across, but it hits Selfmade, doesn't collapse onto Hylissang. If it hits Hylissang, you have to expect Schalke to just go for it. It's a 3v3, but they don't know where Hylissang is. They don't want to overextend. It looks like Selfmade's kind of caught out here because he's so distant from his team. Neon overcommits to the fight, and then Upset with the clutch ultimate pulls Neon into the fight, baits him in, and he gets taken down.
And at the end, Schalke have to be happy with that one. Bwipo's getting stronger. They are scaling up, and you said it's no longer a battle of get outscaled and lose the game. They can go toe-to-toe if this goes late enough, and the gold lead, once much bigger than this. It is 3 dragons to Schalke. Certainly they are still in control of the game, but only 2k gold in their favor.
Yeah, look at Nisqy's items. 2 items already. He's got the Rabadon's Death Cap second item as well, so he's outputting a lot of damage, especially when Schalke don't have that much magic just to work with. Fnatic walking into the bot side river. Schalke want to contest. All the Fnatic around here, so is Schalke. It could be a 5v5.
Abbedagge, no package. Upset, no ultimate, however. Bwipo now going in. Bwipo wants to get it kicked off. Infernal Chains is going to go in. BrokenBlade pulled back. That's Hylissang with the follow-up. 3-man, but it's Abbedagge off to the side. Eyes on the Corki. Schalke do so much damage. It's a meat grinder. The Urgot is still alive. Bwipo does good damage, but it's just not enough. They are dissecting Fnatic in this fight. It is the quadra kill for Neon. Upset has to run head in hands because he cannot afford to give him the penta, but it does mean the Baron for Schalke.
Fnatic are the ones starting these fights. They're trying to climb and claw their way back into the game with 5v5s, but Schalke have too much firepower. Bwipo is the one to initiate alongside Hylissang. Schalke turn the fight perfectly. Neon with the quadra kill. That's Baron, and Schalke are running away with this game.
Fnatic found one good fight. It just wasn't enough. Schalke's comp too strong in that meat grinder, the Corki, the Kai'Sa, the Urgot, all of these champions. Yes, they're short range, but if you fight them at that range, they just grind you up.
Yeah, and if Fnatic lose this game, they are out. They're so far behind right now. Schalke are so far ahead in items, and Bwipo and Hylissang were the ones to kick this fight off. It looked good initially, you know. Bwipo's chunking out BrokenBlade. Hylissang, when he goes in with the Magnet Storm, he finds around 3 members of Schalke. But where's the follow-up? Fnatic are kind of far back. BrokenBlade's tanking up the brunt of the damage, and look at Neon free hitting on the backline, just doing all the damage to the front line of Fnatic. There's not much of it, especially when this Kai'Sa is so far ahead. And then Neon ends up finding the backline, finding a quadra kill, and Fnatic, they're the ones choosing these fights.
And again, the damage dealt, you can see it looks like a promising start, but then you see the Kai'Sa, then you see the Corki, who almost didn't auto-attack in that fight. That's just rockets from the back line hitting multiple members.
Fnatic stepping up again, trying to contest.
Always looking for the knockback. Hylissang, no way out of that one, just gets one shot.
Fnatic's just too aggressive in these fights. The dives, the team fights, the picks. They're looking for things when they shouldn't do so. And Schalke find Hylissang now as well. They have full map control. They're pushing in mid, they're pushing in bot. Fnatic are backs against the wall here.
Schalke Bwipo trying to fish for the play, getting lower and lower, walking away as the ulti comes in. Flash forward from Gilius, that's going to be big. The push back though, maybe Nisqy can turn it, but Abbedagge, Neon, they do not care. They are leaping in. Schalke are ready to end the game. It is 24 minutes in. There are fist bumps from Schalke coaching staff. They know that this game is over, but it's going to take a moment. Maybe, just maybe, there's a desperation hold. The creep wave, is it going to be big enough? That's one tower down. Time is ticking for Fnatic, but is it out here? Body slam forward from Limit. He drops. It's Hylissang, an upset versus the world, but the bot lane will not be enough, and Schalke No Fear will sweep aside Fnatic. 4 years of top 3 finishes knocked out in an instant, as Schalke move on to face Rogue this Sunday.
And it wasn't a miracle to define this win. It wasn't a single MVP performance that defined the win. It was as simple as teamwork, execution, and just clinical gameplay from Schalke. Fantastic, fantastic performance in this series.
There was no cheese. There were no curveballs. Schalke were just better.
And if you didn't believe it before, believe it now. Schalke are a top 4 team.
And this is not a miracle. It's important to note that. This is not the anime story arc, as much as many people would love to think that. This is 5 players who have grinded, who have sat through a 7-loss streak, and who have turned it around when it matters most to one of the most explosive playoff performances we have seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Taking G2 to 5 games, clean sweeping Fnatic. That is a playoffs to be proud of, and they're not even out yet.
Huge, huge props to Schalke and the coaching staff as well. Fantastic drafts, fantastic preparation. And if you look at Schalke in the offseason, they kept the core. They kept the core of Schalke. They brought in BrokenBlade and Limit, and there was a bit of shaky performances at the start of spring, but now Schalke, wow, they're looking strong.
And I don't want to paint the picture that they've always been this good. That losing streak was rough. This was a team that was lost. They were trying so many things that just did not work. The Senna, Tom, Kench games, the games where BrokenBlade was playing Sion, but they have found the formula, and it works, and it is only getting stronger. It is only getting better for this team. Schalke have earned their way into the top 4. They have fought their way up from the middle of the pack. And on the opposite side, as much as a great day as this is for Schalke, and Schalke fans can be proud, Rogue are waiting on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And Fnatic are waiting at home. This is the first time since 2016 summer, we've said it before and we said it again, Spirit, Gamsu, you might remember that roster, that Fnatic have been knocked out in this fashion. They finished 5th then, they're finishing 5th now.
Yeah, it's heartbreak for Fnatic finishing 5th here, but wow, all the smiles on Schalke, you love to see it. They're up against Rogue, like I said, on Sunday. That's going to be a very interesting best of 5. You know, Schalke taking G2 to 5 games. Demolishing Fnatic. How do they stack up against Rogue? Were Schalke even the underdogs coming into the series? They just smashed Fnatic. Whoa. Wow.
They certainly aren't going into the Rogue series. Rogue are the team that now has the pressure on. We heard from Odawamne, that was the team that was struggling in communications. Schalke is the team that 3-0'd Fnatic and took G2 to a best of 5. I don't think there are any stage performance issues for Schalke.
Yeah, definitely not. You saw when they were ahead, they took their leads well. They didn't try to overextend on cross map, try to make too many plays. They didn't over dive into the backline too much. It was just clean. They respect the enemy team, taking it back, take another in back. Just play clean, play smart, don't disrespect, and don't make mistakes. And Schalke didn't make many mistakes this game, whereas Fnatic, that bot dive, oh, Abbedagge got so far ahead.
Player of the series. It's a discussion worth having. We've talked about every single player deserves their time in the spotlight, but you got to pick who it is today. At LEC on Twitter, BrokenBlade, Gilius, or Limit are your options. It was...
Wow, that's hard. That's hard to choose.
Oh, wow.
Limit being on every play, Gilius doing a really fantastic early game every 3 games, and BB with the blind pick gangplank, and now the Urgot just popping off in fights on side lanes.
Just to be clear, we got to pick 3. Because if we pick 4, it's like 1 player out, and we can't pick 5 because Twitter, please give us 5 options. But again, every player deserves their chance in the spotlight, but you get to pick who wins Kia Player of the Game today. Of course, we are soon going to hear from Limit before BrokenBlade and Gilius join us on the post-game lobby. Don't go anywhere. More amazing League of Legends content coming up after this.
Lovely.
They are out there, waiting to be discovered. Some of them are big, and some of them are small. But that's the thing with ideas. They don't just come to you. To find them, you have to move. Kia, movement that inspires.
Welcome back to the LEC stage here as Schalke took down Fnatic 3-0 limit. And thank you for joining me. Congrats on winning against them today. You broke Fnatic in this game too.
Yeah, I guess we kind of broke them. I think it was at least I feel like it was pretty fast 3-0. Obviously, we're just happy, you know, to beat a team like this. Obviously, like they're a really strong opponent. And yeah, we're just looking forward for the Sunday match, I guess.
I mean, what's your take on what happened today? Because talking to Gilius earlier, he was like, I don't know, we want to have fun, blah, blah, blah. I feel like he played me, honestly, with these answers, because you guys looked ready on stage.
Yeah, Gilius is kind of like this, you know, he has a dual personality, either he's super cocky or super humble, you know, but it's fine if he chooses to act like this, sure, I don't mind. I think we just had a really good plan and like the knowledge of what they want to do against us. We saw in like SK they had like a really specific draft idea on like just getting counter picks and like maybe decent matchups bot, and then Bwipo sacrificed himself for this. So we studied this a lot. They didn't surprise us with anything. We just knew what they want to do, and like our main point was just not to give in to their fiestas, basically. Just get something small and back off, like take a deep breath after every kill and just regroup, take it slow.
Can you give me more about this approach? Because, yeah, it echoes to something you said in an interview earlier this week, the fact that, yeah, Fnatic will take it to the street. They're going to be, giving into any engage possible, basically. How does it go in-game for you when you try not to get carried away, when you have to refrain from making useless plays, I want to say?
Like obviously, like I like playing League, like I want to kill people, right? That's the most fun part, I guess, you know. But I also want to win LEC, you know. I guess I just put this a bit more like on the priority list than me getting kills or whatever. And I mean, we saw first game they were just going for me, you know. Even they were losing top and bot, they just wanted me. Like I had a target on my back, I guess. So I mean, sure, if they wanna like kill me or anyone, we can let them do this. But we wanted to get something more in return every time. I think we did a pretty good job with that.
You did an amazing job, and especially you. I mean, you were instrumental in all the engages, the sneaky plays, top lane, mid lane that they didn't expect. And I mean, the community saw it. You are the player of the series today, Limit. So yeah, talk me through your role, your communication in the early game, and your importance in Schalke's lineup.
Well, I guess like every player of us just has strengths, I guess, and we just formed our team around it. Obviously I can't give out too much, but we just play picks that are like good for us, I guess. We still have a lot of to show. Team started banning my Hylissang, I guess, so that's something. Maybe I need to draw out the Gragas ban as well tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, we just have responsibilities, you know. Every player of us has responsibilities. We like back each other up, you know. If one gets carried away, we just kind of, you know, calm down, relax. You know, I think Sergen does a pretty good job of this, you know, calming us down. And yeah.
You're a complete team, let's say. And you said tomorrow you're gonna face Rogue on Sunday, actually. So you have a day off. I know you mentioned that the best of 5 series against G2 last week got you exhausted by the end of it. How is it gonna be playing 2 best of 5 series in 2 days?
I don't know. I guess we'll just have to prepare really well, really good, you know. Study them. Like we also have we have limited time, right? It's not like we have an off day tomorrow. We just need to prepare for Rogue tomorrow, see what they play. I mean, we kind of know what they play, just I guess more in depth, right?
Were you convinced from what you saw from Rogue last week, for instance?
Was I convinced of them? Like if they're a good team? I mean, of course, obviously they're a good team, right? Maybe they just I thought that they're gonna have the edge over Medlines for sure. I think they're a bit better team. Maybe they had a bad dead stage. Let's hope it happens in 2 days as well. But it's gonna be a tough series for sure. It's gonna be a tough series for sure.
I cannot wait, especially from what we saw from you guys. And I mean, there's this whole meme about the Schalke Miracle Run storyline. I feel like it's overdue so much given what you've been doing recently. So do you have a name for this new arc for Schalke, this new storyline?
Well, I kind of thought about it a bit. I don't really have like a one word that kind of like rolls off the tongue, like the miracle run. But I guess this is Schalke that doesn't need a miracle run, right? Doesn't need to crawl its way to players, doesn't need to hope for others, doesn't need to like pray for games or whatever. We don't depend on anyone. We're here to play to win, right? So non-miracle run Schalke, I guess. Like I just need a better word for it.
Like
but yeah.
The fearless Schalke, let that sink in, guys. But Limit, thank you so much for the interview. Congrats on winning Player of the Series, winning against Fnatic today, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you, see ya.
And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in a few minutes with the post-game lobby. Fnatic are out of players, guys. It's been since 2016 it didn't happen. Shox has more to tell you about this. See you.